Many older men have quietly told Grace, in a soft voice, "I live alone. I lie awake every night. Sometimes I just want to release. But I feel ashamed. Is it really okay for a 70-year-old man to still take care of himself?" Grace's answer is simple and direct. There is nothing wrong with it. This isn't a topic to be ashamed of. It's completely natural, and it needs to be talked about openly and honestly. If we truly care about the health and well-being of older men, not everyone still has a wife beside them. Not everyone finds a new partner at this age. But your body is still here. It still has needs. It still longs to be touched. It still wants to feel fully alive. The problem is, most older men masturbate the wrong way, or worse. Stop altogether. They don't realize that how you touch yourself, how often, and why, can influence your hormones, your heart, and even your brain. This simple act, if done without awareness, can lead to issues like erectile dysfunction, depression, or prostate problems. But if done right, it can help boost testosterone, improve sleep, and keep your blood vessels functioning. This isn't just about pleasure, it's about preserving function, reconnecting with yourself, and pushing back against the aging process. So today, Grace wants to share with you 7 masturbation secrets that should have been taught decades ago. Stick with me, because what you're about to hear could change the way you live for the next 10 years of your life. Before we continue, if you haven't subscribed yet, take a moment to hit that subscribe button and turn on the notification bell. That way, you'll never miss another honest, science-based insight into men's health, tailored specifically for this golden stage of life. You might remember Grace said earlier, there's nothing wrong with older men still having desire. But there's something more dangerous than shame. And that's when we keep taking care of ourselves the same old way. Unconsciously, routinely, without realizing we may be harming ourselves. Many older men, even those who are still physically healthy and sexually functional, end up saying things like, "I don't feel much anymore. I have to go harder or longer just to climax. I can't even get aroused unless I'm watching porn." Grace hears confessions like that all the time. And it's not because you're old, so you're weak. It's because, over the years, you've unknowingly programmed your body the wrong way. Some doctors call this a neural conditioning loop. It sounds technical, but it's actually very simple. You usually go fast because you're afraid someone might notice, or you just want to get it over with. You always use the same hand, the same technique, the same familiar porn. You don't breathe, don't feel, don't connect with your body at all. And over time, you train your brain to believe, this is the only way to feel aroused. Slowly, your sensitivity fades. You need more stimulation, more intensity, but still, nothing. Delayed ejaculation, no erection, no climax. Even worse, you start losing connection with yourself. You no longer feel attractive. You shy away from closeness. You avoid mirrors. That quiet voice creeps in. Maybe I'm past my prime. And it weighs on you. But Grace believes this. You can get it all back if you start touching yourself in a new way. No pressure. No rush. Just presence and the choice to begin healing. That said, masturbation also needs to be done in moderation. Because if you stop masturbating altogether, your prostate will eventually start to speak up. When you completely stop masturbating, your body doesn't stop producing. It just stops releasing. The prostate, that small, deep gland responsible for producing the majority of your semen, keeps working every day. Even when you're 60, 70, or 80 years old, there's no retirement switch. The problem is, if you don't ejaculate, that fluid doesn't disappear, it builds up inside. Like a stagnant pond. Imagine a lake with no outlet, where water just sits, day after day, month after month. What happens next? Blockages, inflammation, infection, swelling, pain. Many older men come to Grace with symptoms like urgent urination, needing to run to the bathroom often, weak, interrupted, or dribbling urine stream, pain while urinating or during masturbation, a heavy, tense feeling in the lower abdomen without knowing why. All of these symptoms can often be traced back to a congested prostate because it's been too long since your last ejaculation. And what's even more concerning is, scientific research confirms this. A major study from Harvard University, which tracked nearly 30,000 men over many years, found this. Men who ejaculated at least 21 times a month had a significantly lower risk of developing prostate cancer than those who ejaculated rarely. This doesn't mean you have to be sexually active all the time. Masturbation, when done properly and with awareness, can be a safe, effective way to keep your prostate healthy. You don't need a wife. You don't need a partner. All you need is to touch yourself, with the intention of caring for your health. Don't let outdated moral views or feelings of shame turn you away from something so natural, helpful, and clearly preventative. Grace doesn't encourage overuse, but she will always support informed, intentional self-care. Masturbation is not something to hide. It's a part of your physiology, a form of release, and sometimes the most honest way to listen to your body. And more importantly, it may protect you from a serious and widely feared illness, prostate cancer. And more than anything, silent shame has become a hidden enemy in the mental health of older men. Something that doesn't show up on an MRI, but quietly eats away at the mind, day by day. I know it helps, but why'd I still feel wrong? So many men have confessed. I know masturbation is good for my prostate, but every time I do it, I feel guilty afterward. That feeling doesn't come from nowhere. It's rooted in old teachings from youth. That masturbation is dirty, weak, or a sign of someone who lacks self-control. These messages, whether they came from a passing comment, a scolding tone, or a judgmental glance, get wired deep into the nervous system. They leave invisible scars that, over time, shape how you see yourself. You begin to believe touching your own body is wrong. Feeling desire at this age is strange. Needing satisfaction is a form of weakness. And from that belief comes something deeper. Disconnection from yourself. There are many men out there, perhaps even here, who have lived in loneliness for years. Not because they no longer have desire, but because they're too ashamed to express it. They shrink themselves, avoid contact, avoid hugs, hand-holding, even avoid looking into their own reflection. And the saddest part? Even when they want to touch, they don't dare. They don't dare place their hands on their own bodies. Don't dare to feel the life still pulsing beneath that wrinkled skin. Because they've grown too used to the belief, I don't deserve this. But science and compassion say otherwise. The truth is, touching yourself isn't just a physical act. It's a psychological one. Masturbation, when done with presence, awareness, and care, can lower stress hormones like cortisol, increase dopamine, the chemical that fuels motivation, release oxytocin, the hormone of connection and healing, help improve sleep, memory, and mood. It's a simple act, but it has the power to calm your nervous system, open your heart back to yourself, and gently heal emotional wounds that may have built up over decades. Shame, on the other hand, kills all of that. Shame is a form of chronic stress. It makes your muscles tense, throws off your brain chemistry, and makes your heart beat out of rhythm. Worse, it locks you in a cycle of guilt, isolation, and self-blame. And over time, it raises your risk of depression, chronic anxiety, heart disease, weakened immunity, and even memory loss. Grace isn't writing this to scare you. She's writing this so you can start looking at yourself with more kindness. You are not wrong for wanting to touch yourself. You are not strange for still feeling desire at 60 or 70. And you are certainly not weak for choosing masturbation as a way to care for your body and your soul. And finally, testosterone, the hormone that gives men strength and vitality, doesn't just drop because of age. It drops when you stop living like a man who still wants to live. When you touch yourself with awareness, even if you're alone, you're sending a message to your brain. I still want to feel. And that very signal boosts testosterone, bringing back energy, confidence, and even the desire to keep going. No pills, no doctors, just the courage to fully live your role, even if it's in a quiet room, with nothing but you and your body. One of the quiet lies many men believe after 60 is, I don't have sex anymore, so I don't need to worry about getting or keeping an erection. It sounds reasonable, but it's actually a dangerous mistake. Erections aren't just for sex. They're also a key indicator of vascular health, blood and oxygen flow, nervous system function, and overall cardiovascular health. You might think, I don't need it anymore. But your body never stops keeping score. If you don't create erections regularly, your biology starts to assume it's time to shut things down. The body doesn't keep what you don't use. Just like any muscle or blood vessel system in your body, the penis follows the rule, use it or lose it. When you go too long without an erection, blood vessels shrink and lose elasticity. Blood flow slows down. Oxygen delivery to tissue drops. Connective tissue begins to harden and lose flexibility. And the result? One day, when you do want to use it again, it no longer responds the way it used to. Not hard enough, not long enough, or worse, no response at all. Even if you're not having sex, you still need to keep it alive. You don't have to be sexually active to keep your erection healthy. But you do need to create erections regularly. Even if it's just from touching yourself. Even if it doesn't lead to orgasm. Think of it like exercise for your blood vessels. Like walking every day to keep your knees from stiffening up. No movement, no maintenance, your penis works the same way. And the damage isn't just physical. When erectile function declines, you don't just lose performance, you lose a piece of how you see yourself. You start to feel like, I really am getting old. You shy away from intimacy. You avoid even thinking about being close, because you fear the disappointment. Over time, that affects your self-esteem, your connection with others, and even your will to live fully. If you want to keep your manhood, you have to keep using it. There's no other way. No pills, no partner, no special skills required. Just don't abandon yourself. And it's not just self-neglect that's dangerous. Isolation is one of the most harmful mistakes older men make without even realizing it. Not just living alone, but something deeper. You're no longer touched. You no longer touch. You no longer connect. Grace calls this the silence of the body. No one holds your hand. You don't embrace anyone. You don't even stroke your own skin. And day by day, your body slips into a quiet kind of numbness. A place where the senses begin to shut down. Isolation kills nerves. And emotions too. Science has made it clear. No physical contact, right pointing arrow, oxytocin drops. Lack of touch, right pointing arrow, stress hormones rise. Higher blood pressure, weaker immunity, restless sleep. And most importantly, the brain begins to shut down emotional circuits as a way to protect itself. You start feeling cold. You avoid closeness. You stop being moved by things that once touched your heart. And you don't even know why. But the reason is simple. Your body is no longer truly alive. The tragedy often begins in the bedroom. Isolation from the outside world may come from circumstance. But the first, and often most painful kind of isolation, begins the moment you stop touching yourself. It's not about pleasure. It's about presence. About the gentle embrace of compassion. About that quiet 10-minute moment each day where you truly listen to your body. I'm still here. I'm still breathing. I still deserve to be felt. But if you stop doing that for too long, your body begins to believe you've given up on it. And it starts to give up on you. And that's the scariest part. Not because you're weak. Not because you're old. But because you're withdrawing in silence. And no one knows. No one sees that you're slowly losing the ability to feel. No one knows when you stopped holding yourself. And you no longer dare to speak up. Because you tell yourself, at this age, what's the point of saying it out loud? But Grace will say this, loud and clear. Isolation is the first thing you must break if you want to hold on to even a piece of your real living self. Start with one small act. Touch your own hand. Gently stroke your chest. Place your palm over your heart and stay there for 1 minute. No need to do anything else. Just be present. Tomorrow, do it again. And if you can, let your body know, it was never abandoned. You are not broken. You are not weak. And you are not too late. Your body, even after decades of ups and downs, still wants to live. Still wants to feel. Still waits for you to come back. Your brain still craves emotional connection. Your heart still wants to open. And your skin, even with wrinkles, hasn't forgotten what it feels like to be fully alive. The journey back doesn't start with anyone else. It starts with you. No partner needed, no expert, no special skills, just 10 minutes a day to practice a simple, golden protocol. A quiet space, a body treated with respect, a gentle hand, a slow breath, a full presence with no goal, no rush, no need to, just get it over with. Just touch and feel. As if you're saying to yourself, I'm still here, I'm still alive, and I still deserve connection. This isn't just about reclaiming sexual function. It's about finding your way back to yourself. And if you've made it this far, that means a part of you is still in there, waiting quietly for the door to be opened again. Step through it. No one else needs to show up. Just you and your body, beginning again. With a gentle touch. Quote,